Good afternoon. This is Cletus Davis from Ultimate IT Guys, and welcome to our Technology and Security webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about Facebook breaches. It's a topic that I think all of us have probably seen a lot about recently in the news, and really it's been kind of going on all year long. We've been hearing about Facebook, seems like just constantly in the news. So I thought it was a good topic for the webinar today for us to just discuss some of these breaches and what they mean to us and how we can protect ourselves. So just looking at the impact, over 87 million user accounts of Facebook have been impacted by these breaches. The first one that we've been hearing about, it seems like all year long now, is the Cambridge Analytica data breach. When this one first came out, it really didn't bug me so much. I mean, yes, it was a lot of user accounts, but it was basically they accessed the data that you already have shared on your Facebook page. So to me, that really wasn't so much of a serious breach as it just was, hey, we share way too much information, and this company and probably other companies have mined that data and used it. So that one didn't bother me quite as much. This new one was released at the end of September. Is called View As, and it's a bug in their code where they can let you view your account as the way other people would see it, or it lets you log in to other websites and stuff using your Facebook ID. And that bug affected over 50 million user accounts, and it did contain a lot more sensitive information, and it's one to be a lot more concerned about than the Cambridge Analytica breach that they've been talking about all year. The thing to me, though, that is our biggest issue is just the inadvertent sharing. And that's everybody. All of us do it. We share way too much information on Facebook. And sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it. We think we've got it. Oh yeah, only my friends can see this, so it's not a big deal. But if you really go look at your settings, no, everybody can see it. We really need to be careful about that because we put stuff out there like our date of birth and where we went to school and our kids' and grandkids' names and the name of our dog and just all of this tons of personal information that if we were giving that information away about our customers and our clients, we would be in big trouble. But we freely go give that information away on Facebook for everyone to see. And it's really scary because those pieces of information can be used against you to either try to steal your identity or to try to break into your accounts, because a lot of times answers to those kinds of questions about where you went to school and things like that can be used as your security questions to like reset your password if you get locked out of your account, or to even be able to access your account at a lot of places. So if you've given that information away, you've made it really easy for the bad guys to try to put the pieces together to pretend to be you. So we just need to really think about that. Now moving on, because of third-party data breaches like the one we're talking about today with Facebook, we are at a much higher risk of being a victim of a targeted attack. And basically that means that we are a target for phishing scams, for ransomware, for wire fraud, for direct data breaches, which means basically they're trying to steal information from you and me. That's what a direct data breach is, as opposed to trying to steal it from someone like Facebook. That would be a third-party data breach. We are at a much higher risk because of these breaches like Facebook and Yahoo and just all the other ones we've heard about in the news now. You know, it's said that over 3/4 of the people in the United States have their information, personal information, for sale on the dark web by the bad guys. 3/4 of us are at a higher risk of being a victim to these other types of problems. So we just need to pay attention to that. Back to Facebook. what do we need to do? Well, first we're going to start off with the basics. Change your password, check your logged in devices, and check your sharing settings. That'll go a long ways toward helping you be more secure. Starting off with checking your settings. When you're logged into Facebook, if you go to the top right hand corner, there's a little arrow upside down triangle looking deal. Well, that drop down will give you a whole list of things, and down toward the bottom is settings. So we want to go to settings. Once we're in there, there's really three areas we want to pay attention to: security and log on, your Facebook information, and privacy. And they're all over on the left hand side of the screen once you're in settings. First, we're going to talk about how to change your password. There's a section in that security and log on area. There's a section that says login, change password. If you click on the edit button, it'll let you put in your current password, what you want your new password to be. It's that easy to change your password. There's no excuse to not do that. Now, because this is out on the internet and it's easily accessible, make it a good, strong, complex password, and don't make it a password that's based on the information that you've shared on Facebook, such as where you went to school, when you graduated, your kids, grandkids, your dog. Don't use any of that stuff that you've shared on Facebook to help you create your password. Make it a good, complex password. Next, we want to check your logged in devices. So in this same section, under security and login, there's an area that says where you're logged in. And you can see there, in this case, it shows these two Windows PCs. They're in Mangum, Oklahoma. Okay, that's correct for me. That's valid. But let's say if I had something saying I was logged in New York City, okay, that should send up a red flag, because I'm not in New York City. I haven't been to New York City lately. That's not a place that should show up here as me being logged into Facebook. Or if there's some device, like in my case, I don't have a Mac computer. So if it said there was a Mac, I was logged in from a Mac PC or a MacBook, okay, that's a problem, because I don't have one of those. So just check this for sanity. If there's something there that looks like you shouldn't be logged in, if you'll click on it, it will allow you to disconnect from that device, which is a good thing. And really, it's a good practice to just sign out of all your devices periodically. That's just good security hygiene to do that every once in a while. Then you know that nobody is using your account that way. Next, I want to look at some of the sharing settings. First, we're going to look at the privacy section over on the left-hand side. And I've modified some of my settings just so you can kind of see some of the different things that are available here. Main question that we want to ask ourselves as we go through this is, who do I want to see my information and my posts? Because in general, none of us really need to have everything shared with everybody. Now, maybe if you're in a business setting or something, you do want your posts to be available to as many people as possible. Okay, that makes sense. But pay attention to what you're posting. But as far as who can be your friends, who can access your information, those types of things, you really want to think about, who do I want to be able to access that? Just my friends or friends of friends? Or do I want to make it public and everyone can see it? Those are just things to just think about as you go through all those different questions there. You know, who should really be able to see this? And what could they do with it if they did see it? Because remember, a lot of this stuff could be used to pretend to be you. That's a really scary thing and puts you at risk when you share those pieces of information. Next, we're going to look over on the left-hand side, your Facebook information. This gives you visibility into things like looking at all your information by category. You can look at all your previous posts and activity, things you've liked. you can view that activity log. And if you see things showing up in there that you didn't post or you didn't like or share, then that's a good indication that maybe somebody else has access to your account, and you might want to do something about that. So this is a good place just to kind of look and do a little detective work every once in a while to make sure that someone else doesn't have access to your Facebook account. Well, next, we're going to move on to some more advanced things. We're going to talk about setting up two-factor authentication. Do not use Facebook to log in to other websites, and creating a special or separate email account just for Facebook. Two-factor authentication. I know that to a lot of people that sounds, I don't really know what that means. That's scary. But really all it is just using a second piece of information in addition to your password to be able to access your account. And it's based on a really good, solid, simple security principle. The idea of you have something you know, which is your password, and something that you have, which in most cases would be your cell phone. Facebook supports two methods of doing this. They can either send you a code via a text message or through an authenticator app like Google Authenticator or Authy, or there's several other apps that will do that. But basically, it separates the two pieces of login information, and it makes it much more secure. Yes, it adds a little bit of time to the amount of time it takes you to sign in, but it's not like it adds minutes, it adds seconds to your sign-in. It really does add another whole other layer of security to your login. And we strongly encourage this, not just for Facebook, but for any applications or websites that you use that support two-factor authentication. You really should be using that, because it's a much, much safer way of logging in, because it's so easy for the bad guys to get a hold of your password because of these data breaches, because of phishing attempts. So if you're using two-factor authentication, even if they get your password, they still can't get into your account. That's what you want. It helps keep the bad guys out of your stuff. Next, I want to talk about using Facebook to log into other sites. Now, in this case, I took a snapshot off of the NPR, the National Public Radio website. So you could sign up for an account there with your email address and your information, but well, if you didn't want to go to the trouble of doing that, you could just use your Facebook sign-in to sign in to NPR's website. Well, the concept of it's what's called a single sign-on is not such a bad idea. The problem is Facebook's had all these problems. People tend to not keep their Facebook very secure. They've been breached now multiple times. So using Facebook as a way to sign in to other websites and other services is really a bad idea at this point. It makes it real easy for someone else to pretend to be you. Just in general, don't use Facebook to sign in to other websites when you're given that option. The next thing, create a special email account just for Facebook. And a lot of times I will just call this a junk email account. And it will help cut down on the junk and the spam type emails that come into your inbox. If you're only using this for things like Facebook or some of this other just junk places that you go, you don't ever use that account for your business stuff, your insurance, your online banking, accessing critical websites like where you're ordering supplies or something. Keep those two completely separated. That helps you stay a lot more secure, because if that junk email account gets compromised, it's not really a big deal because they can't get to anything that really matters using that. So that is just another way of just helping keep you more safe. So let's Just think about that. That's a very good, easy thing for you to do that will keep you more safe. So in summary, what should we do? We should change your password, check your logged in devices, check your sharing settings. The more advanced things, set up two-factor authentication. Do not use Facebook to log into other websites, and create a special email account just for Facebook. Doing those things will help you stay safe, secure, and productive. And always, let us help you stay safe. We can help you change your settings. We can help you create a junk email account. We can set up business email for you that does proper filtering and scanning to keep out the bad stuff. We can do dark web scanning and monitoring of your IDs to see if you're one of those people that are your information's out on the dark web for sale, and we can help you take action to fix those problems so that you don't become an ongoing target. We can also help you with risk assessments or data breach plans for your business. These are just some extra things that we can do to try to help you stay safe and secure. As always, feel free to contact us if you do have any questions, or you would feel more comfortable talking one-on-one. Just give us a call or send us an email. We'll be glad to help you out. Thanks, and have a good day.